Upper Echelon is brought to you by Deloitte. For innovative thinking and thorough strategic planning, turn to Deloitte. Paul Harris, one of South Africa's great entrepreneurs, joins us now. And I say that, Paul, without exaggeration. You guys, together with Laurie Dippenaar and GT Ferreira, have created an amazing group in the FirstRand group. When you were a young boy growing up in Greytown in KZN all those years ago, when you thought by the time you got to 62, you would have been an entrepreneur, you would have built something of this size, was it a dream back then?
No, I didn't know where I was heading. I just put my head down, I suppose, and enjoyed it, worked hard, and I must say, reflecting, it's been quite a journey.
And it's been an amazing partnership as well between the three of you that's lasted all those years. That just going back, scratching a little bit into history, was it the Industrial Development Corporation where you met?
Yes, I met Laurie there, and I met GT and Stellenbosch shortly before that. So it goes back a long way.
Looking at the IDC itself, what back in those days, in the early or the mid 70s, when you were there, it was known as an organization that produced business leaders into the future. But it seems to have changed somewhat in its character. Is it disappointing to you to see this?
Well, I don't know enough about it to really comment on that. I think that what they do have is a view into lots of businesses and lots of sectors in the economy. So I assume that while their focus may have changed, they've still got some very good people there.
So they're still making or doing a job for the country?
Yes, I would think so.
Paul, if there's one thing that has always struck me about you over all these years, it's innovation. It's your ability to think differently. What got you there? What got you going on that track?
Alec, I think it's just curiosity. I just like the concept of trying to puzzle things out, of trying to look at things differently, of finding a new angle. I also enjoy getting a concept and seeing if I can improve it or there's a better way of doing things. And I get a little bit carried away. I'm extremely enthusiastic and I'll give it all.
I remember you showing me a Kindle before most of us had ever heard about what a Kindle was. Is this these kind of gadgets in a personal life? Is it still something that
big time? I'm a gadget freak. I really enjoy technology. I'm very sorry that I never really got a proper grounding in it. I would like to have perhaps done some programming and perhaps been more hands-on. You know, I've always, for one reason or another, been in charge of people that are doing IT, and I get very involved, but I think they'll tell you that I don't know enough about the technicalities. But I think I do know of the future and certainly the potential of harnessing things like the internet and all these amazing things that are happening, cloud computing and that type of thing.
What are you playing with at the moment?
Well, I've made one or two personal investments in some of these techie type of companies, dealing with young people that understand these things, perhaps trying to give them a different view, perhaps a more mature view, more strategic around the businesses that they run, and I'm enjoying that.
And personally, though, you've obviously got an iPad?
Oh, I've got a lot. iPad, Kindle. I've got them all.
And you use them
absolutely
aggressively?
Absolutely.
Lots of apps?
Plenty apps, and I'm on that app store often, and if anybody tells me about a new app, I write it down and go and look it up. And I've got a bit more time now, so I can do that.
We're going to have quite a few MoneyWeb apps hitting the market soon, so that'll keep you entertained, no doubt. I suppose the big legacy in a retail sense that you have right now is eBucks. It does seem to be hitting its straps, and I recall when you were flogging eBucks, talking about it, many people thought it was a dead horse. You kept on, you persevered, and today it looks like it really has been quite an amazing innovation.
Well, I've always been incredibly enthusiastic about eBucks, and in fact, if one were to give us the benefit of some doubt here, But I really think e-bikes was before its time in many respects. We spoke about aggregated buying in those days. So what do you have now? You have Groupon. We spoke about uh, internet banking, and we now leaders, or FNB are leaders in internet banking. The social network aspect of it, the shopping aspect of it, the fact that every single e-bike customer is online. And in a sense, I'm very excited about that, but I also sometimes think that maybe we could do a lot better in e-bikes. And well, I'm not suggesting we're not doing well, but it is such a good concept.
I was very privileged earlier this week to listen to Michael Jordan, one of your proteges who's now running FNB, talking about innovation, and particularly innovation at First National Bank itself. It's quite incredible what you've managed to achieve there, because at the time of the FirstRand transaction, there were many skeptics who said the innovative group, your group, Rand Merchant Bank, would be absorbed by the less innovative FNB, but you might actually have achieved the opposite.
I do think so. You know, people don't realize that that type of culture is not something that you can put into a company and see the results immediately. But I do think as under Michael, over lots of years now, 5, 6 years, we focused on innovation. Before that, we also focused on innovation. And it's only when people do something consistently and consistently come up with new things that I think you get recognition for it. And if you look at what FNB are coming up with now, it's actually quite remarkable. Apart from e-bucks, you've got leaders in cell phone banking. You've got, this whole concept of being able to go to an ATM with your cell phone banking account and draw money without a card. That's seriously groundbreaking stuff. And that's not the only one. There are lots of those type of innovations. But it's about instilling that sort of culture into an organization, sending signals, giving $1 million prize to the best innovation of the year. You certainly harness the innovative talent of a company when you send those sort of signals.
The other good thing that you've achieved in the whole FirstRand group, the three of you, is succession. It's extraordinary to see how well your little babies have developed and grown. Discovery as a most obvious example, with that, again, that culture of innovation.
I think it's a culture of innovation, but I also think that it's the corporate culture of FirstRand, and that is built on the deep respect for the uniqueness of each individual and giving each individual the opportunity to fulfill themselves and to reach their potential without the baggage of too much bureaucracy. So I think
that's hurt
that
you sometimes, though. You've had a couple of years where it really has stung.
Alec, a couple of years, one or two things have happened, and if you take risks, you must expect at times that some things aren't going to work out. But where we got hurt, and I didn't enjoy it, but the worst thing that happened to us is our profits went down by 30%. And if you throw over that, what happened in the world markets in 2008, that we got away with, that wasn't a big deal thing, really.
And if you take it in a longer term perspective, then the approach of empowering people, treating them not like bags of kilojoules, has actually paid off.
Absolutely. If you can't make mistakes, business would be very, very easy. If everybody was just totally risk averse, you could do that, but you're not going to come anywhere near the sort of growth rates in that we have managed to achieve. And if you take risks, sometimes they won't, you're not going to, it's not going to come off. But that doesn't mean to say that you should crawl, not take any risk, because that's what business is all about.
Entrepreneurship. Paul, if apart from entrepreneurship and innovation, if there's one other theme that your friends would say characterizes you, it's South African. It's your love for this country. Does it sometimes worry you, though, that there seems to be a chasm between business and government, that the trust levels between the two are not where certainly we aren't presenting a cohesive front?
Yeah, it really does worry me. I think that, there are two sides to all stories, and I think that it's not business's fault or the government's fault, but it's unfortunate that there is a lack of trust. I think that if people really knew what business did behind the scenes, and that all of us, the most of the people that I know, certainly in the FirstRand group, our hearts are 1,000% South African. We are desperate for this country to work. We want to do whatever we can to make this country work and to come out on top. And I must say, sometimes I just find it unfortunate, hurtful almost, that business is seen as the problem. Business is a solution. There's not a single thing that we aspire to in South Africa, whether it be housing, education, health, you name it. The only sector that can deliver it is business. So I would have thought that business should be nurtured and the relationship should be nurtured, because the interests are so aligned.
There are a lot of businesses that are emigrating, a lot of people that are emigrating, very skilled people, white South Africans who are still leaving the country. I know you keep beating the drum for them to not go, and for those who have gone to come back home. Are you seeing any change in that trend?
I don't know if there's much change. I certainly haven't seen much of it. But if anybody wants to emigrate to Greece, you can go there. You can go and join the Rights in London. I mean, things are tough overseas. If you look at Europe, Europe is a wasteland economically, and the prospects of Europe are very bad. So, it's a relative thing. I mean, anybody that thinks that the grass is greener on the other side, and I think everybody knows what I would say in public, but the grass is greener there for a reason.
Your business legacy, when you step back, 62 this year, looking back at what you've contributed to the country in the past few years, are you expecting to play a significant role into the future still?
I don't know what sort of role. I've never been one to be on the, let's say, the stage. I'm more of a backroom type of guy. I'm very enthusiastic. I'm not into the big strategic issues of the country. I get on with the things that I can understand and get on with.
So you'll be making more investments into those kind of businesses that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I mean, if at the end of the day you can make business, you can create businesses that create jobs and give people a sense of self-worth, that you can instill the type of culture that we've had in FirstRand. I think at the end of that, and respect people, I think at the end of that you make your contribution.
Paul Harris, one of the founders of the FirstRand Group. Upper Echelon was brought to you by Deloitte. For innovative thinking and thorough strategic planning, turn to Deloitte.